I mean, look, he's turned down stuff in Saudi, and I don't think he would play there, to be honest, just because of what's gone on. I think the tour's relatively established. I'm just trying to think Middle East wise, they do stuff in Qatar. You know, there's tournaments that are held there. Yeah, it's a bit. I mean, look, I think if he feels strongly about something, regardless, you know, he will. You know, he's at the stage where he'll happily call it out and he'll have that debate with people. So I don't think he's scared to sort of voice his opinion on it. Just exhibition matches, you know. So they've done a few over the years where they pay eye-watering sums of money to get players to come over, and yeah, I just think he wasn't interested. Yeah, if you're a number one player in the world or a former number one player in the world, you know, in the Middle East, you could potentially, earn $1-2 million for, you know, an exhibition match. Um, so, so yeah, it's pretty good. I mean, golf is similar. I mean, this is for the sort of top players, the sort of big global names. I'm not sure it's necessarily the best look for tennis, but you know, it's undoubtedly sort of, you know, everyone wants to sort of know what's going to happen. You know, it's not a great look, and I don't know. I don't think Novak's come out of it particularly well, really. You know, I think that the strength of the feeling in Australia here, especially among the residents, was, I think it sort of feels that overwhelmingly they weren't that keen for him to play. It'd have been interesting in reception he would have got stepping out on court. I mean, it's tough to sort of speak for other players, really, but you know, what I would say, it feels like it's overshadowed the sort of run up to the tournament, and it's you know, so you would forgive players for feeling a little annoyed, I guess, at, you know, everything being about Novak and vaccinations versus you know the lead up to, you know, one of the big slams, and you know, something players look forward to and have been sort of, you know, working hard towards. So yeah, it just and it doesn't feel like it's, you know, although he's had his visa revoked for a second time, it sort of still feels like there's more to sort of to come from it, really, doesn't it? Which, you know, it shouldn't really overshadow the tennis. Yeah, I mean, it's incredible that he's playing, you know, top level sport with a metal hip, really. So I mean, it's, you know, that in itself is, but actually it feels like he's sort of getting, you know, back to, you know, close to sort of where he was. I mean, it'll be interesting this year if he can sort of train solidly, and actually, because the difficulty in the last few years is he's been sort of be able to play and then have to stop and play and then rest, and not been able to train properly and put tournaments together back to back. So if he can do that this year, then, you know, there's no reason why he can't, you know, get himself right back in sort of up the rankings, really. And I think the goal for him would be to be seeded at the big tournaments, so that, you know, that way then you get the sort of first sort of 2 or 3 rounds potentially, you know, will be easier. And then, you know, I think, you know, if he can get to the sort of second week of slams, you know, especially Wimbledon, where he's naturally a good grass court player, you know, then who knows? But yeah, I think he's just enjoying being back. He may have a different opinion on it, but, you know, I think if he can play for another sort of 2 years, 3 years, maybe, then amazing, you know. And that's, you know, back in 2019 when, you know, he was almost sort of, you know, thinking about retirement. It almost feels like he's got a second chance. So he's almost had a look at what life as a retired athlete might look like, and then sort of been brought back. So I think that adds to the, you know, he's sort of cherishing what he's got.